Welcome back to Flashpoint. A new report from North Carolina tourism officials found Alexander County is one of the fastest shrinking economies in the state. Spending in the county fell by nearly 7% between 2021 and 2022, and the county is still struggling after a major employer unexpectedly shut down operations. Joining us now is the Alexander County Manager, Shane Fox. Mr. Manager, thanks for coming on Flashpoint. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for having us.
Sure thing. So, even though the economy is thriving across most parts of North Carolina, we know in Alexander County, you're losing people, while other neighboring counties are doing great. What do you think needs to be done to not only keep, but also attract more folks to your county?
Sure. Yeah, we've been fortunate in the past. All of the Catawba Valley has been very fortunate in the past few years in retaining jobs and recruiting jobs. So we have been fairly successful up until the recent closure of Mitchell Gold Bob Williams. We had one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state. This closure of over 500 employees losing their jobs instantaneously last Saturday definitely puts a huge damper into that progress that we were making. So we've had great results from our neighboring counties and neighboring institutions and manufacturing clients that are residing within the Catawba Valley that have reached out since the closure of Mitchell Gold Bob Williams. And so we're hoping that these over 500 employees are able to get back to work just as quickly as possible and continue the progress that we've been making in the area and retaining jobs.
The Mitchell Gold Bob Williams, did that come as a shock to you? Because I know here in Charlotte we were all sort of surprised, but for folks there in your neck of the woods, it might not have been a surprise.
No, it was a surprise. You know, you hear rumors. Of course, you never know if the rumors are going to be substantiated. We did not know until it started hitting social media on Saturday, the 26th of August, and unfortunately, we were able to substantiate those rumors to be true. And the closure was sudden. The county and the surrounding folks did not have any prior warning to the closure, including the employees themselves. So it was a blow to the economy and a blow to our folks here. We're a small county. We have about 37,000 folks, and so when you're talking 500 plus employees losing their employment, you're affecting 4,000 or 5,000 people when you're talking families and extended families. The primary breadwinners of these families more than likely were employed there, health insurance carriers, et cetera, of course. And so these individuals losing their jobs as quickly as what they were without any prior warning was devastating to the families and to the county. And that's something that we've been working extremely hard over the last couple of weeks and trying to figure out ways that we can assist these families and leaning on our partners and resources to be able to do that.
So how is the county now working to bring more companies to Alexander County, given that I know a lot of folks who actually live there actually make a living outside of the county? How can you sort of change that tide a little bit?
Yeah, so we have about 18,000 or so within our workforce, and about half of that 18 leaves the county each day to go into Catawba County, Iredell, and surrounding counties. We do import back in about 6,000, which is a decent number, but we are still losing several thousand folks a day net loss leaving the county. So our EDC folks within the county have worked over the last decade or so in creating our Alexander Industrial Park, which is a 250-acre industrial park. We do have a graded site now that we're hoping to continue to promote on the state level and global level and see what happens with that. But we've had some success in the past. We've not had maybe as much success as what we'd hoped to, and we'll continue to push and move forward with hopefully attracting some new clients and new industry within the area. Manufacturing has kind of been the bread and butter from an industry within the Catawba Valley, and we've been able to be successful in landing a few different clients over the past decade or so that kind of branch out in some different areas, which is fantastic for us to be able to accomplish.
I know tourism is a big thing for North Carolina counties, but I know that's something else that your county has struggled with over the last few years, ranking last, I think, in terms of tourism here in the state. How do you combat that as well? Because to me, that's a completely separate sort of situation than just the jobs and the companies.
It is. So we are an agriculture county, so we depend on agriculture quite a bit, and so we're looking at different ways of hoping to promote that. That's something that is a dying industry, so to speak, across the area with the growth of North Carolina. So we're hoping to be able to capture some of the agriculture tourism that's out there. and bring folks in. So we're working on a few different initiatives now and different ways to be able to promote our county and some of the uniqueness that we have being a rural county, being a mountainous county. We do have some opportunities there. We have a number of attractions that we're hoping to be able to promote better than we have perhaps in the past.
Final question, when it comes to your job and your responsibility and economic development there in Alexander County, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night?
You know, there's certain things that are out of our control. Obviously, we're competing with a very successful state. North Carolina has been tremendously successful in economic development, which is a fantastic thing to have. But we're competing. We do not have a 4-lane road. We do offer rail access, which is something that's important to have, especially in certain industries. And so, you know, we try not to worry about the things that we can't control. We try to worry about the things we can control. Alexander County has got a tremendous workforce. That's something that we hope to continue to promote. You know, with the closure of Mitchell Gold, Bob Williams, those employees are out looking for jobs now. A good chunk of those employees hopefully have already landed positions. We do have a job fair coming up next Tuesday from 12 to 4. We have over 40 employers from the area that are coming to hopefully recruit some of those employees that have lost jobs. But we have a long-standing history of having that blue-collar work ethic that folks want to work. They want to be able to be successful and provide for their families. And so, you know, it doesn't keep me up at night. We hope that we can do better in promoting ourselves. That's something that we probably need to do, and government needs to do a little bit better in promoting what we have and the resources and assets that we do have internally. But we try not to focus on the things that we can't control. We just try to focus on things that we have, and you know, promoting ourselves as much as we can is something that we need to do a better job at.
And what you have is a beautiful place up there in Alexander County, Taylorsville. Not enough folks have been there. They need to go check it out and pay it a visit because it's a beautiful place. All right, Shane Fox, County Manager for Alexander County. Mr. Manager, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. More Flashpoint after this.